Welcome to the LCS recap for Week 8. I'm your host, Johnny Esports, and let's talk about the week that was, the week that's coming, shake up their tier list, and then talk about the battle for playoffs. So jumping into it here, we have Team Liquid, who did lose a game. They won against Clutch Gaming, but they did lose to FlyQuest to now sit at 14-2 as they pick up their second loss of the season. They did, however, clinch the bye, so they probably don't care that much. Cloud9, 12-4. They lose an interesting game to Echo Fox, which really messes things up in terms of my tier list and where I view teams. They do beat Optic, but they go to 12-4. They secure a playoff spot, but it is very disconcerting that they lost to Echo Fox, which is a team I previously had as a bottom tier team. So some worries for Cloud9, but it is best of one, so you know, variance does happen. Meanwhile, Team Solo Mid aren't the victims of variance as they win both their games against Golden Guardians and Counter Logic Gaming. They now improved to 11-5. FlyQuest now sit pretty in 4th spot. They also secure a playoff berth with their wins against 100 Thieves and, again, as mentioned earlier, Team Liquid, because FlyQuest beat Friel. Did it. Memed. Sitting in 5th spot, and I think fairly solidly in 5th spot, is Golden Guardians, the lone 7-9 team. They lose to Team Solo Mid, but they did beat Clutch Gaming to get there, so that puts them as the only team at 7-9 and currently holding on to that 5th spot. And then we have a little bit of the clump at 6th. So the 6 and 10 teams are Optic Gaming, Counter Logic Gaming, and Echo Fox. Optic Gaming fell their way here, losing both their games. They lost to Counter Logic Gaming and Cloud9, while Counter Logic Gaming, of course, beat Optic to get there, but did lose to Team Solo Mid. But, you know, good, because I was looking before this for Counter Logic Gaming. It was looking like Optic was just a clearly better team, and I felt like they were just going to go to that. But Counter Logic Gaming really put down a nice effort against Optic and won, and I think Team Solo Mid was just a much better team than them, so they weren't just able to even pick up a victory there or look that great. But it was good for them to beat them, another team within that clump, to, you know, kind of sit there and tie to that. Meanwhile, Echo Fox, again, a team I previously had at the bottom tier, did have to beat Cloud9 and 100 Thieves to get there. 100 Thieves, probably the worst team. Cloud9, maybe the best team. So it's good they beat 100 Thieves. That's kind of, I guess, expected of them. But it pushed them away from that pure basement, and now, you know, playoffs are a very real possibility for this Echo Fox team, which is very, very interesting. Meanwhile, Clutch Gaming is the lone 5-11 team. They did lose to Team Liquid and lose to Golden Guardians. Rough games because those are just better teams. It hurts your playoff chances. They have a narrow shot at it now, but it's not looking super great. Meanwhile, team with no shot at it now, 100 Thieves, 4-12. They lose to FlyQuest, they lost to Echo Fox, and they're gone. They're gone from the playoffs. Now they're going to be playing Spoiler coming up in the next week. So let's take a look at how this all moves my tier list of teams. So for the longest time, the top tier has been Team Liquid and Cloud9, and it stays that way right now for me. However, there is lots of rumblings that Team Solo Mid might actually belong here. Of course, Cloud9 losing to Echo Fox does raise a lot of questions. Team Liquid losing to FlyQuest doesn't raise as many questions, but Cloud9 losing to basically what was believed to be a bottom tier team, especially by myself. As you can see on last week, I had them literally on the bottom right beside 100 Thieves. And now they're shot up a bit because they've really, really impressed me and what they're going to do. And like, they look like they're back. If they were ever there, then they're back. If they weren't ever there, then they're just there now. Anyway, there's a lot of argument made just the way Team Solo Mid plays, the way they seem unbeatable even if they give up leads. They can take it down. Last week, they just look so proactive. That P word, I guess the other P word's potential, but that word that people always throw at Team Solo Mid, it's like, why can't they just be more proactive? Which is like so easy to say, but like hard to obviously accomplish. But Team Solo Mid look like they're doing that. So there's argument that Team Solo Mid belong in the top tier. For now, though, they're just gonna sit in that sort of 3rd spot and on my tier list, and this could change by next week. Yeah, like there's in my head I was like, oh yeah, Team Liquid and Cloud9 are probably gonna stay in the top tier for the rest of the season. This might change by next week, which is very interesting, because really that loss, the Cloud9 loss to Echo Fox really messed me up. But FlyQuest as well, their win against Team Liquid do keep them in that near that middle tier, that 4th spot. They look great. They look super good. They look like the team that I thought they potentially could be. Again, in my original tier list at the preseason, I technically had them in the bottom tier, just outside the playoffs, but I had always said this is a team that could surprise a lot of people, and they were like my dark horse to be pretty good and be a playoff team, and there they are. They're making it. So I'm pretty happy with my dark horse pick there, as they are looking solid, and they showed a way to beat Team Liquid. However, at the same time, this is garbage time now for Team Liquid. Like, games basically don't matter. They could theoretically lose on the first seed going into the playoffs, but they've clinched the bye, and you're pretty much happy with that. Like, you have to. Team Liquid right now look like a team just trying other stuff out because it doesn't matter right now. I think them playing Vayne is just Doublelift going, hey, I want to play Vayne. I like this champion, and it's pretty good right now, and games right now don't matter all that much. So, yeah, FlyQuest beat them, because I think FlyQuest really rose to the occasion. Team Liquid were not trolling. I want to go so far as to say that, but they were just like, you know, just trying different things. They don't need to show their hand for playoffs. They don't need to show what they actually really want to play. Maybe even want to try to look weak, so that teams prepare poorly against them, so they don't actually prepare against their strengths. I think teams actually do that in League of Legends. So that's where that is. But the Cloud9 losing to Echo Fox, that one again to me is way different. So Golden Guardians, like I said, I feel like they sit solid in the 5th place. I think the way they played just really give me some hope for them. Yeah, they lost the team solo bid, and they beat Clutch Gaming, which is kind of a lower tier team, but they beat them in a nice way, and they playing a style and in a way that I think Golden Guardians do belong to be a playoff team. And again, it was all over the LCS broadcast. Their 7-9 record, their 7 wins now ties them for all the amount of wins they got all of last year. So they're sitting pretty now, and I think they deserve their 5th spot. I think they go 1-1 and then end up keeping that 5th spot and are pretty happy. Meanwhile, trying to decide between whether CLG, Optic, and Echo Fox go into the 6th and the last spot of my middle tier. Echo Fox sit there because I think they look super good. Like, it wasn't just cheese, but like Rush came in there and played great. They beat Cloud9. Again, beating 100 Thieves doesn't mean super a lot, but imagine losing to 100 Thieves right after beating Cloud9. It would have been like, okay, Echo Fox, you just RNG'd 1 win. But like, no, the way they played, if you watch the games, I really actually like the way Echo Fox plays, and I think if they can continue playing that way, they're a playoff team. They were a team that I was saying, yeah, they had things kind of out of sorts, but there was glimpses there. I believe that I was saying that last week, and they kind of put it together in 2 solid games. So hopefully that for them that does stick around. It does make me sad because I did say CLG would be a playoff team this year, and that would kick them out, but it's what it is. And I think CLG and Optic are decent teams, but with clear flaws. So they sit on the bottom tier. They have a shot at playoffs, but they're decent teams with clear flaws. And then there's Clutch Gaming, which kind of have the feel bad. Oh man, like you just have a tough schedule left, but you needed to win games before this tough part of your schedule. So you're in tough duty. And then there's 100 Thieves that are just not good. So they're also at the bottom. We'll see what happens if this tier list changes at all. Obviously, it would basically change by who makes the playoffs and who doesn't. But from what I see from based on play, purely on play, and let's say we just had to we voted on our teams to be in the playoffs, like college football or however that works, this would be the teams I would vote to be that I would want in the playoffs. This top 6. So everything can change in 1 week. It does set up for a really nice week. So let's look at that battle for playoffs and the coming week as well. So we look at our teams that are not currently clinched. So Golden Guardians obviously have the best shot. They're 7-9. If they can win a game, I believe they for sure clinch it. I think there might be a scenario where they only win 1 game and don't make it, but I'm pretty sure if they win 1 game, they make it. Someone check my math on that. Meanwhile, the rest of the 6 and 10 teams, they all kind of have 1-0 or 1-1 records against each other. So what I'm really hoping for is all those 6 and 10 teams go 1-1, and then we have a 3-way tiebreaker there. Golden Guardians gets their 5th spot, they go 1-1 or whatever, and they're for sure in the playoffs, and then Clutch Gaming is kind of out of it. So my ideal scenario is that is what happens. So that'll be super interesting to see if that could. But we could talk about Clutch Gaming's chances here. I don't think they're great. They have to beat Team Solo Mid and Cloud9. I believe they have to go 2-0. If I'm correct about this, I think they have to go 2-0, and then they have to make sure that the teams they're tied with once they're 2-0 is not Optic. Because if it's Optic, they lose the head-to-head. If it ends up being CLG, then they can play for a tiebreaker. If they end up against Echo Fox, then they win the head-to-head. So it does create an interesting scenario. But yeah, they got to beat Team Solo Mid and Cloud9 to get there. And maybe they fall for that whole Team Solo Mid and Cloud9. Same thing, same reason Team Liquid lost. They're just not trying super hard because these games, quote-unquote, don't matter. But Cloud9 and Team Solo Mid are playing for top spots. Team Solo Mid and Cloud9 do have a playoff bye that are there with for them. So I think they really do want to actually play for it. It's not a likely scenario Clutch Gaming makes the playoffs. So my brain, I'm hoping for that three-way tie with all these currently 6 and 10 teams that are playing for tiebreakers to make it in the playoffs. That would be hype. So let's jump into the picks for next week specifically. Again, 7-3. So I now sit at 51-29 record. Okay. Kind of hoping that this goes up. You're going to see one spicy pick I make in here. One spicy pick. And let's go through it. So I have Cloud9 beating FlyQuest. FlyQuest could easily win this. Of course, FlyQuest just beat Team Liquid. So who knows? But still going to pick Cloud9 because, again, Cloud9 I think are playing for something here. They want to make sure they secure that bye, I believe, because that's just such a huge advantage. Team Liquid, I think they just beat Echo Fox. I think they're just a better team. But again, Echo Fox, they did just beat Cloud9, so they can do it. Let's see what happens. Golden Guardians, I have them beating Optic Gaming here to set up their one win that I want them to do their 1-1. So we'll see how that goes there. That's a very intriguing game though, because that really that creates a good amount of separation for you going for that last game and potentially into playoffs. And then Team Solo Mid I have beating Clutch. I just don't think Clutch is going to do it. And then I do have 100 Thieves beating Counter Logic Gaming. Now here's my logic. We saw so much of this happening in the LEC where just like teams playing spoiler are just spoiling it, and I think CLG, this is going to be that situation where CLG should be set up to 2-0 here, and then they go into the playoffs. But let's watch 100 Thieves make at least one upset here and do take out CLG and go like, hey, we're here, we finally won a game. I think they really want to win a game. I don't think they want to go another 0-2 and then just be out of it. And I think this is the game to pick them apart, mostly because I think CLG, of their opponents left between Optic and CLG, I still think Optic right now looks stronger. CLG just have some holes that I think are exploitable, and 100 Thieves, I think probably is good enough coach to see them, and I think they're going to finally pick up a win here and take that one. So that's my upset pick of the week. Meanwhile, we do have Cloud9 beating Clutch Gaming out in day 2. And again, 100 Thieves versus Optic. I think Optic does look good. I think Optic's going to beat them there. I think they just have too much of a strength in the mid lane. I think Crown's just going to essentially carry that game. We have Fox versus CLG. And I do have Fox winning that one. CLG's just looked, Echo Fox has just looked much better, and that would set up for that win. And, they just take that and kind of keep rolling along. But again, I am hoping CLG win one of their games this week so that we set up that beautiful tiebreaker. But we'll see. Fox versus CLG is a very, very important game too, because again, CLG and Fox head-to-head. CLG currently have the head-to-head, so Echo Fox need to win that one to remain tied and go on. So the nightmare scenario for Fox is they somehow beat Team Liquid, but then lose to CLG after CLG beat 100 Thieves, and then CLG are able to make the playoffs based on tiebreaker head-to-heads. So that would be like such a heartbreaking weekend if they do that. But we'll see what Echo Fox are able to pull off. But I do have them. They look much better. They look clean. I think Rush back is inspiring. It looks great. FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians. Again, I do think Golden Guardians are a pretty darn good team, but I think FlyQuest just outclasses them here. And then Team Solo Mid versus TL. Again, this is, I guess, an upset. Team Solo Mid, again, a lot of people are arguing that potentially they are the best team in the league. At the very least, deserve to be in the top tier, the top 2. And this is going to be a game where TL's not trying. And again, I don't mean like they don't always try. I just mean they're not going to want to show strategies that they potentially want to use in the playoffs, which are theoretically their strategies that are the best chance for them to win. So why give TSM any more information than you need to? So maybe, yeah, they drop this game against TSM because it just doesn't matter as much, because they don't want to show them anything. because they might have to play them in the finals. We'll see. And that's it for the show this week. Thanks for watching. If you have an opinion on the different playoff spots, there's a 5 and 6 up for grab. Who do you got? Again, I have Golden Guardians and Echo Fox making it. Who do you think is going to make the playoffs? Let me know. Comments below. You can also hit me up on social media. Check that stuff out. You can tweet at me there what you think, if you think I'm dumb or anything. Or do you think Team Liquid gave up that game for free? Let me know about that, because that to me is really interesting. Because in my opinion, I don't think they're trying their best strategies right now, because they don't need to. Do you think teams actually do that? You could sound off on those kind of things. You can also subscribe to this channel, as well as check out previous video right there if you missed last week's. All right, we'll see you next time after another week of LCS. Also, check out, I do Academy games. I'm casting Academy games, so yeah, check me out when I'm doing that. Again, all the links are over there. Cheers.